Why we are still obsessed with Hollywood's actors, the psychology behind our obsession with the rich and beautiful of this world, especially actors and actresses, still get a sheer unimaginable amount of media attention, because if you spend a minute thinking about it, what is it actors do? They act, and this is it. They act and they use the media attention they get because they're acting to sell the product. They are acting to sell the product, aka the series or movie they were employed by for a few days to a few months. This is the first big thing. The second big thing, they are above average attractive, and since we see them again and again, this combined gives us the mix of exposure and above average attractiveness, which doesn't necessarily correlate with anything else apart from exposure and above average attractiveness. What does this create? The good old halo effect. This is in short the effect that one characteristic of usually a person shines so bright, we also assume every other characteristic of this person to be better as well. And physical attractiveness is probably the single most powerful characteristic for the halo effect. There also can be other ones too, like if somebody is really well spoken, this can brighten up many other of his characteristics as well. But the deal with attractiveness is this: it's universal. Everyone living has basically an accurate rating system already built in, pre-installed, so to speak. We as humans on large parts agree on the traits of physical and also facial attractiveness. Traits like symmetry, not too much deviation from the average values in many aspects, have been found to be almost universal among us as a human race, and there is a simple reason for it. Evolution, or rather statistics. There is not much to be found in simple statements like the more beautiful a male or female offspring of a population is, the higher the chances of healthy children with that partner. Although there is some truth in that, thinkers like Steven Pinker tend to not try to view evolution to be as easy as that. And the problem arising out of this is not so much Steven Pinker doesn't have a serious point, but more so much that even in a rather trying to be as sophisticated as possible blog like this, there is just a word, text, and also time constraint to dealing with these issues. Therefore, the need to shorten it down, to exaggerate in order to make a point, because humans don't speak scientifically, logically accurate most of the time. If you made a cake yesterday, it probably was the best cake you ever made. There could be some truth to that, but chances are it wasn't. It was just a shitty cake you made, and no one will ever care apart from you and your 80 years old you damning you for spending your youth and health making and eating cakes. That's also the point why we then admire someone who, in addition to maybe having an above average as objective as humanly possible value in attractiveness, and due to change in the above average attractiveness appearing in movies and series, also put the effort in and tried their best to maximize that value, even if it was only for that one movie or series or video. A similar phenomenon is this. News anchors somehow manage to often get book deals after they wrapped up their career, and maybe not so much in the US but more in other countries. They then speak about politics as if they spent their whole lives doing politics, offer solutions for problems they have absolutely no clue about. Why? Because all they did for 30 years straight was read news from a teleprompter into a camera. And that's what they probably are very good at. Not that they couldn't also be secretly Nobel Prize winners in behavioral economics, and therefore can offer good points about how to apply them to the real world. And therefore, them ranting about the high wages and the injustice in our system would actually be something with inherent value. But the environment they were in just didn't select for that, so chances are nobody cared about these other qualities, because the thing they needed is being nice to look at, being nice to listen to, and being good at reading and speaking. I didn't want this to be a rant. So now let's just take a look at Thinkerstream. The key to make it big on the internet is probably not to offer the best facts ever, but probably more offering something which is also enjoyable. Not really nice to look at, but certainly also plays a huge, if not a completely similar role is if this wasn't purely text-based for now, but nice to read at, you could say, is Thinkerstream backed by Nobel Prize-winning behavioral economists? Nope, it's not. But that's not the reason you read or listen to. It would be really nice if there was an inherent correlation between being good at something and also being good at explaining or presenting it to others. But there isn't really, because we as humans are far too dumb for that. There is also this other part of the argument, that our brain's processing power is just limited and therefore we simply cannot know enough about each and every one person and every person on this earth and how accurate the stuff they spit out really is. Therefore, we take abbreviations. Like judging the content by its speaker, because there is simply no way we can accurately judge the content. That's a problem, but also the most optimal solution evolution came up with, which doesn't mean it's optimal, it just means it's the best one we've got so far. So next time, when you ask yourself, why is Brad Pitt so damn cool? The answer is probably you don't really know. All you know is that he played cool characters in movies. This means he is above average attractive and good at acting. Of course, he also could be good at other things, like being a Nobel Prize winning behavioral economist. But even if he was one, you couldn't really assess if he truly has earned it, because in order to assess this, you would have to be at the same or higher level in the specific field. And two, he probably would be a damn cool Nobel Prize winning behavioral economist.